How's it going, people? And welcome back to the Jumper Punch channel. I'm Mars, and this is Brown Paper Trades. Jesus, I've already lost my train of thought. I missed one day and I lost my train of thought. This is day 8. We missed yesterday. There wasn't much that was going on. Not much that went over the weekend. We had our emergency meeting, our Brown Paper Trades edition. Where do we start today? If you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you smash the like button. If you dislike what I have to say already and you dislike my skull, just hit the dislike. It's okay. And look, live chat's going off right now. Welcome to everybody in the live chat. Got a special guest tonight. He messaged me a bit early and said, I'm doing the rounds tonight. So I'm like, all right, let's get you in. You're only family and you're only TJP family and actual blood. So let's get him in. Paul Sebastiani from SCN. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. Good to be back.
It was weird actually introducing you like that.
You've never introduced me on anything we've ever done. It's never been this one.
It's usually the other way. Usually you're the host and you're introducing me, but welcome to my show.
How things have changed, my younger cousin. How things have changed.
Younger, 6 months. I'm already copping it. What a world we live in right now. Paul's at SEN. I'm hosting my own show on the Jumper Punch. There's 45 live viewers, hopefully to go up later. I mean, the WWE was on this weekend. I'm going to cry when John Cena gives it all up, the childhood, and we're going to cry when Charlie Curnow goes. Maybe not. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button. Tuesday night, Unfiltered, 9 p.m. Make sure you check that out tomorrow night. And Glory Hunters, I think we'll go to Thursday on that one because we're going to do a live as well. So, and check out Butterbing with Rocco, History Lessons. He talks about Ron Al Hubbard, Scientologist. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into trade talk. It's starting to pick up now. The last couple of days, we know these big trades always take until the last couple of days, and they keep them, they hold them back because they want the clicks. You know all about it, Paul. SEN, you know about it. They want the clicks later on in the week. They'll be getting thousands of clicks. Only Carlton is already started. James, they've already talking about the trades. We'll get into the Curnow one soon. It's a fucking shit deal, and we're stupid enough to take it. Saif, where's Goulden? I know it's dead. And I'm still delusional. Butters isn't going anywhere. So, look, we'll get into Curnow in a minute. We'll just touch on a few players, and then we'll go to the main talking points.
Yep.
Where do we start first? I think Buku Karmas. Is this going to be a bit difficult to get done towards the end of the trade period?
I don't think so. I understand Bulldogs negotiating. Boy, is my connection okay, by the way? I seem a bit slow on the camera. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, good. I would assume it'd get done, but I get the feeling we need to get a pick in this year's draft in between 30 to 40. I think that's what's probably going to get it done. We gave away 41 for Chesser, which I think was definitely the right move. And Buku's a fascinating one because we've got Mitch McGovern waiting in the wings. And that is why I believe they have told Mitch to wait because that deal has not been done. So I would assume if Buku doesn't get done, that we will move on Mitch McGovern and offer him a year. Having said that, I think there will be a way for us to get into this year's draft again. Yeah. And there will also be, I mean, if you look back at what Chris Davies said with regards to Lekalia and how St Kilda didn't do the deal, Chris Davies said that there is, I wouldn't say there's an absolute obligation, but there's a sense of goodwill that if a player requests a trade to your club, you do what you can to get that deal done. And I think it will be done, to be honest.
We'll probably trade.
I think the Bulldogs know that as well.
Yeah.
I think the Bulldogs know that.
I mean, 10's going to be used on Dean. You got 22, 54, 67, 72, and then you got later picks of 87 and 105. I didn't even know that traded.
Obviously, we won't use those. Yeah. But you've also got the picks that will come in from Sydney. So pick 11, as well as a future first round, which is what is being pitted now, along with the two players, Haywood and Florin. And look, again, and I discussed this earlier with Joey and Terry, that, and we've had this discussion, mate, like the problem at the moment is we're not seeing what the replacement for Charlie is.
Of course.
And the
It's
issue,
probably
the issue I think with a lot of people, and then this is understandable, in the immediate future, we're talking season 2026, we may not see the replacement for Charlie, mate. We may not see it.
Do you think it's a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain?
Yeah, absolutely it is, because this was the curveball. This was the curveball. So I think everybody knew De Koning and Silvani were going.
Yeah.
Right. It got to a point where, okay, we've got a period of time where we can properly manufacture acquisitions for the loss of these blokes. And look, the ruck scenario is not great because we've lost our effectively
number one.
Ruckman. But you know my opinion on it. You don't need a star ruckman to be a premiership team. What the rule changes will lead to next season, we're not really 100% sure, but I think there's enough there at the moment for it to be adequate, is what I would say. And then the Silvani scenario too. We've got Karmas, we've got Dean. Dean's a better footballer than Silvani, at least talent-wise. Karmas is on the offering. We've got Young, we've got Wiedering, we've got Haynes, we've got potentially McGovern if we're desperate and the Karmas deal doesn't get done. So I think there's enough coverage down there. I think the area that we need to focus on is midfield and forward, mate. That's the area. That's the area, man. And we've had this discussion. We've had this discussion so many times.
A million times. I mean, you touched on the McGovern as well. I'm like, he'll get. Look, if we don't get Buku Karmas, you stick with McGovern for one more year. And look, you got to bring Harry Dean through somehow. You got Newman coming back. I mean, it's a different type of role, but you've got Lockie Cow in there as well who can pinch it down. Also, Nick Haynes as well. So I think there's a plethora of options there that we can use. And if you don't want to use McGovern for the year, as they're trying to not force him out, but they're just telling him to keep his.
No. I mean, look. Let's look at, and Joey and I were having this, was it a debate? Yeah, maybe a little bit. And I've had this debate with a few people. Our key position stocks down back, they're no good, and we need to bolster the key position. I think we're fine down back, even if we don't bring Karmas in. I think we're okay back there. I mean, let's look at the premiership teams. I mean, every premiership team has one gun key position defender, and then the rest are pretty solid citizens.
Yeah.
Look, Geelong had no Tom Stewart in that grand final. He's their gun key position defender to a certain point, and they got obliterated. You've got to keep these players fit. I know it's not an excuse, but you've got to keep your stars fit. Who was fit down back for Brisbane? Harris Andrews, the megastar, the leader, the champion. He's the key position player that was fit, mate. And then your other key position bloke is probably a dour player.
Yeah,
you don't need that many key position players. It's not. Look at Adelaide's back line. Keane and Michelini,
Laurel and stuff like that. And yeah, they're just look. I think the game's changed a little bit now from your natural centre half backs and your natural centre half, like your full backs as well. Like you got to have one premium defender, I think, always as Wiedering we have, but the other ones are all interchangeable. I mean, they all play off each other anyway.
Haynes was great, mate. Haynes was great.
He worked into the season well and was probably our best backman, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't have an issue with down back. People are saying, look, pick up Sam Frost, and I'm just like, yeah.
No,
I mean, you know who people are forgetting, and I know people are going to call him on shit and all that. But Lewis Young, you still got him down back that can play a key position, so he's still there for another year. So I don't think that's dire straits yet. I think they'll look towards the end of next year to pick up maybe a player, but I don't think we have to go like gun-ho and go get another centre-half back or another key defender. I think we've got plenty there, as you touched on before. So, I don't have any issues with our backline. I think our backline is probably our strongest point on the ground, to be honest.
Look, it's not an area where we are absolutely desperate to go and get a Buku Karmas or sign Mitch McGovern. It's not. To me, again, that area of the ground, you just got to keep your guns fit. Simple as that. To me, the area that we need to improve in is midfield and forward. That's the area. We've just lost. We're going to arguably lose our most talented key position forward, who, mind you, has been through a plethora of injuries throughout his career. But we're going to lose some output there, and we're going to lose output with our ruckman in Tom De Koning. And again, like I said, you're hoping that we make it up in the aggregate, right? So let's just go through it player by player at the moment, right? So let's get into do we want to go into the Curnow scenario now?
Well, I was going to touch on that. I was just going to touch. Oh no, you know what?
No,
Let's go.
We'll go through a few other things, and then we'll unpack Charlie because that's the one that
Yeah.
everyone's talking about.
I was just gonna ask your the small forward, the upgrade from Corey Durden to Ainsworth. You know my take on Ainsworth. I wanted him since last year. Agent Mars came to the fore there, but what do you reckon there? Like, I think it's a great pickup by Nikos, and he's effectively turned Corey Durden into Ben Ainsworth and a better output player than Corey Durden.
Well, let's put it this way, right? Frankie Evans surpassed Corey Durden, right?
Yep.
Corey Durden comes out of the team now, and we acquire Ben Ainsworth. So it's automatically an upgrade. With all due respect to Corey Durden, obviously fitness and form and whatnot, but Ben Ainsworth was a high pick. He is going to be a very, very solid high half forward for us. Can go through the middle as well. We saw him, I think it was either round 20. There was a game towards the back end of the season where he had 27 touches and 3 goals.
3 goals, yeah.
So
he does have that in his locker. I watch a fair bit of Gold Coast, so I don't think there's nothing to worry about with him. He's a good player. He works both ways as well, which is what you want.
Tough, hard. Loved his interview loved his interview on Trade Radio. No, it wasn't Trade Radio. Sorry, he was on air with Dwayne Russell and Cam Mooney with us earlier this morning.
I was going to touch on some of his quotes. He said, the opportunity to play with a more unstructured role at Carlton was really appealing to me. I can't wait to get into the blue setup. Then he also went on to say, excited to line up next to Paddy Cripps. I play with some stars at the Suns, but Cripper is a superstar. Can't wait to play with him. And then he also went on to say, I absolutely could have stayed, but when you hear in the background, they say to explore your options, you wonder and you get moving and what is the best for myself and my family. So, he saw the opportunity, probably pay him the same. I'm guessing we'd pay him his contract, his whole contract, happy to take it on. And, I'm actually happy with that. We've been needing a player like that for a while. And he's back. I think he's an upgrade on Lockie Fogarty, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. He will play. He will play the majority of games next season, should he be fit. I've no doubt about that. And he's actually the player I wanted in his draft year, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we finally got him 10 years later.
I'll just touch on one other as well, is the Ollie Hollands. So they're happy to pay him out if they can't find can't find a place. Elijah Hollands. So look, do you think it's a dangerous predicament that we're setting? Like I'm saying so like not meaning towards him, but for other players that are troubled, say if they are troubled from another club and we can source them or get their services, but they don't trust the club to help them. I mean, the players got to help themselves as well, but I don't know. I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword here. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So look, you're seen as not helping the player. And then, you helped him for a year or two, but, now you're kind of throwing him to the wolves, people have been saying, or I don't know. So my question is, do you feel like it's a dangerous predicament?
His scenario is one that I think the club could have handled a little better in the early parts of it. Yeah. Because I believe when you acquired him, you knew there was an inherent risk attached to acquiring a player like that, hence why he came at such a cheap price.
Yep.
There also comes a point in time with which Elijah Hollands has been set out a string of rules, set out a string of standards, and set out a sense of goodwill and professionalism bestowed upon him by the club that needs to be adhered to.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
The fact that we are evidently happy to pay him out and to list him with a year remaining on his contract suggests to me that the behaviour that he has shown, the behaviours that he has not just brought into the club, but also off the field, have made that relationship clearly untenable. And there's only so much a club and a group and a collective can do before the individual has to put his hand up and take responsibility. And I'm sure he's done that at stages. And I'm not judging him one bit. I'm not judging him at all. At all.
Yeah.
Because who am I to say? We all have our troubles. We all have our coping mechanisms. We all have our vices, right?
Yeah.
But I think what people have lost, and maybe what he's lost, is a sense of perspective. But we don't know the depths of his potential medical illness. We don't know the depths with which he has gone down. So it's another scenario that's very, very difficult for many to comment on with expert opinion, unless you're a doctor or a psychologist or in that. But the fact that the club, and it's a club that has put the arm around many for years, has decided that the relationship seems untenable, would suggest that a few things have gone clearly awry when we set a standard, forgave him for what may have occurred at the start of the year, and said, okay, we know you're contracted, you're one of us, but Elijah, you've got to take responsibility now. These are your standards, and if you can't adhere to them, unfortunately, there is no place for you here.
Yeah, no, it's a sad situation, and that's just the state of affairs that presents itself. And look, you've got to look we tried to look after him, but the player's also got to help himself, which he has. He's admitted to, which is good. Good to see. Hopefully, he can get on a list somewhere, and if not, play some VFL footy and get back into it.
I'll say this: the fact that he has no suitors
tells you a
would
lot.
suggest that there's something askew and awry there.
Yeah. You can only work on yourself. So, I mean, if you don't work on yourself, you'll get nowhere in life. So,
I'm going to put the slide on for a sec so people can see my lovely face. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. That's all you can say about him anymore. Like abundance of talent, but talent can only get you so far, and hard work on yourself. It probably just the fruits of life, isn't it? That's what they always say. Is that talent can only get you so far. So
should he be delisted? You know, he plays some fantastic game for us. Some fantastic games for us, and I just you wish him all the best. Get yourself right, and you're on the monogram, mate. You're always going to be a Carlton player for the rest of your life. But unfortunately, it looks like it's all going to end in a way that he and everybody probably didn't want it to end.
And he come to the realization with it as well. So
ultimately, this is my opinion on everything. It's all on you.
Yeah, it is. At the end of the day, you kick the ball. You wake up in the morning. If you want to better yourself in the morning, well, you take the steps to get better. So, yeah. Well, hopefully everyone has an outlook like that on life. Some might, and some it might just be too hard for people. Slobbo with $2. Thank you. Give me Snapper. He'll be on another one. Snapper's probably sleeping.
Well, Slobbo, he got deleted off afltrade radio.
Did he? Oh my God.
He got deleted, yeah.
Got the ass. $7.99 only Carlton, and if you haven't checked out his channel, make sure you check out his channel. New to the array of a plethora of Carlton podcasters. Welcome. I wish Charlie nothing but the worst at that Tiny Tim Pot Club. Also, I love you, Mars and Paolo. We love you too. Well, I do. Not like that, but yeah, no homo, cuz. Chicho Dan. Sydney didn't fold with Papley, and we are gonna bend over, loop up, and get hammered. I can't say the rest because I'll probably get demonetized and see you later. But yeah, we'll go on to that. Just before Zach, Miles, what happened to your boy Bailey Fritsch? You weren't mentioning Ben Ainsworth before. You were Bailey Fritsch crazy, and now you get
with that scenario is obviously
that's gone.
Has obviously shifted, and we
so
found someone else who's probably available. Look, like I said, what is true months ago and what is true tomorrow and what was true 12 hours ago may not be true now. The scenarios
things can change quickly overnight, so we know that.
What we need to understand.
Yep. So now we'll get into. That's why everyone's here. This is why everyone's watching all Carlton trade news. Every podcast getting a workout. Tom Morris getting a workout. Twomey, everyone. Or is it Twomey or Twomey? How would you pronounce it? Cal Toomey. Charlie Curnow. Where do we start? Apparently, he travelled to Sydney today. Tour of the club's facilities.
Well, not apparently, he did. and somehow, some way, media was ready for his arrival.
in Sydney and there too at
was
the
not a
airport and
doorstop.
there.
They were ready for his arrival. I wonder who tipped them off to that. It may have been
No.
the agent.
100% it was the agent. Agent talks, mate. We know that. So, what are they tabled? They're two this year's first rounder, next year's first rounder, then Ollie Florent and Will Haywood.
Yep.
Now.
Yep. We'll give Charlie, and we'll probably have to give something back.
Yeah, and probably a first rounder, future first round,
or
a second
Charlie,
rounder.
Yeah, a future second, something like that.
Yeah, future second. All right. I mean, they're already getting enough with Charlie, and they need him. And as I've been saying before, their forward line, their key tools are absolutely they're poo. They're no good. Amadi, I know he's kicked 10 in a game, but inconsistent. McLean, can't trust. Logan McDonald, just how you're going forward, and might be shifted down back. And the rest, Will Hayward's probably their best forward, and we're taking him. I would say. I'd say he's their best forward at Sydney, and he's been that since Buddy's retired.
Yeah, let's look at it from our perspective. I don't know what this means with regards to results in 2026. I'm just comparing player to player.
Yeah.
Ben Ainsworth an upgrade on Corey Durden.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Who does Will Haywood replace in the team at the moment?
I'd say Moya.
Cottrell,
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. As a high half forward.
He's a starter in that team.
Who, Haywood? Oh, yeah, 100%. He's walk-up starter in nearly every team in the AFL.
Haywood and Ainsworth, with what we have up there at the moment, instantly, like you say, he probably comes in for Motlop. Sorry, only Carlton. It'll be like Motlop out, Durden out, and Haywood and Ainsworth come in, right? So that is probably an upgrade on those two players there, right? What that means for results, I don't know. I've got no idea. But I think you're guaranteed a certain output with those players based on what they've done in the past. There you go, Riser. Fogarty. Yes, okay, perfect. Yeah, you mentioned Fogarty off the top. Yes, good call. So one of those three players, or two of those three players, it's an upgrade with Ainsworth and Haywood being in there. Now, again, and this is what I said on BA, the problem that we are facing and that people cannot fathom because they can't tangibly see it is the replacement for Charlie Curnow. The picks that we acquire from Sydney are not visible yet. We can't see what Charlie Curnow is being replaced for because we haven't done it yet. Now, it may be this year. Unlikely, but like we've been saying, it's probably a holding pattern to stockpile next season. So say, for argument's sake, we have a holding pattern this season. We're probably not going to win the flag. I don't know. Stranger things have happened in life, right? Stranger things have happened in sport. Say at the end of all of this, over a 2-year period, we go out and replace what Curnow was to our football club to a certain point. Say Curnow ends up being Haywood, Florent, Dean, Butters, Walker. That's what you're bringing in with the loss of Curnow. That okay?
I mean, if you put it that way and people like to see it as a holistic approach, well, then, yeah, of course. Because you're basically...
Bailey Humphrey. That's the now.
Yeah.
That's the now.
You got to take care. I mean, we're essentially giving away probably one of the best key forwards, top 3 in the comp. On his day, he's number 1, right? We know that. Arguably, maybe Cameron's better, right?
Charlie's I don't want to say because you can't replace him, right? Or maybe
you can't. You're getting rid of 60, 70 goals a year, and
that output that he gives us goal-wise, goal creation, structurally, and whatnot, it may be made up different. It may be made up in a different way. It may be made up with better midfielders. It may be made up with better defense. It may be made up with better runners, right? But over a 2-year period, we're going to end up getting the value, the trade value for Charlie. It may not be this trade period, but it will be, hopefully for our sake, over the next trade period at the end of 2026. And again, I know people don't want to hear that, but that may very well be the reality.
Well, this is what I was saying is it's a short-term pain for a long-term gain. So you got to. I don't look. I'm speaking realistic terms, is that we're not in the premiership window, right? Maybe we are, but
would say no.
I would say no, right?
Yeah.
Saka, you gave us false hope, Mars. You never know. And this is what I'm saying, is that if the Charlie Curnow deal gets done between, let's say, tomorrow and midday on Wednesday,
it will.
Yeah, 100%, right? Is that maybe we'll make a play for a Butters or a Humphrey.
Yeah. I think that will definitely be on the table.
It has to be on the card, and I think that they will. I think they'll give 2 first rounders for any of them.
With the idea of not losing out on Harry Dean. That
correct. Well, I don't think, like, I've done the calculations, and I don't think we are. I know that there's only a 10% this year, and it's not 20% off the points, but
correct.
we won't lose out, providing that we've got enough draft picks. And you know that Nick Austin is smart enough, and they do all the calculations. They've done it. They're doing them as we speak.
They're the experts. They're the experts.
But I believe that when they make the trade for Charlie, we put in a request for either Humphreys or Zach Butters. We're just awaiting Sydney.
Yeah.
Because I think we need
Mars, the Humphrey and Butters thing. It may happen next season. It may happen at the end of
next season. It could.
And this is where people are getting frustrated with, I can't wait another year. And I get it. I understand that. I get it. But if they're not there, you've got to hold, mate. You don't spend for the sake of spending. You've got to hold. And sometimes you've got to cop that hit. You've got to cop that hit. What I will say is this, right? This is what I'll say. One thing we lacked this season, and I think was far more detrimental to results than players being available, was a lack of harmony and a lack of unity and a lack of cohesiveness with the whole group. That's of a bigger concern to me at this point in time than the trade scenario. Yeah. We looked at broken club here, mate. Broken club.
Yeah, I agree. Well, if you look at it, I look at it this way as well. So Charlie goes out.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Mackay now becomes a stay-at-home forward, still working up the ground naturally as he does, and we can leave a 1 out with either Zach Williams. You've got Haywood now. You can maybe leave one of those out on an island, right? But the focal point now becomes Harry Mackay, right? Mm-hmm. So we've kicked it to Charlie's head predominantly the most times in a season. We're kicking it to him like, let's say 200-300 times in a season, just off numbers, right? Way more. His output is obviously going to go up because you're always kicking it to him. And this is what I liken to Jamie Elliott as well. His numbers effectively went up this year because who was their key forward? He was basically their key forward this year, right? Yep. My check was is a bit down and in and out. McStay, who knows where he's probably playing for Brisbane reserves or whatever. And then
ultimately, that's probably what's cost them.
Probably, yeah, right? Now you go to Carlton and you see Harry Mackay. We know he can hit 50. Can he hit 60, 70 in a year? I think he can. I think he's got enough talent and enough work rate to make his own footy, make his own goals. He's got a beautiful lead on him too. Hard to beat in the air. We know that. And his set shot has improved.
Yep.
Now you bring in Haywood, you bring in Ainsworth, you look at Motlop, you look at maybe Zach Williams goes in there as well. Frankie Evans too, right? So you lower your eyes now. It's not bomb, kick and hope from 80, 90 out. It's now we've got to find another route to goal.
You got to run it to goal, don't you?
But I think that's where we play our best football.
Yeah. Well, look at and Collingwood as example in 2023. I mean, look, McStay took them to a certain point as a key forward, and then they ended up winning the grand final with my check as their key forward and Cox, who. He's not the most amazing player, but he had a big. They had a gun midfield. They had really good defenders. They had fast runners, and went down that path.
And a lot of people have been saying like, "Oh, it's not enough. It's enough," but you've got to take a little less, don't you? I mean, you don't have to, but if you got to facilitate the move, well, it probably has to happen like this.
We are as you know, and supporters. And fans and members and whatnot, but everybody is just hell-bent on winning the trade in the moment. Everyone's hell-bent on winning the trade in the moment because, you know, a lot of us have this short-term, emotional, I want it now view. But that's not how the game works. That's not how list management works. That's not how organisations, that's not how football clubs work. The
I
way
agree.
in which, like I said, the way in which we're going to have to do it, it may very well have to be over 2 seasons because of the curveball that's been thrown to us and the lack of availability of getting and trying out key forwards from other teams.
And there's not a lot of free even I was having a look for next year as well, and there's not a lot of free agents. There's not a lot. So you're probably going to have to pry out a contracted player, and you're going to have to give up a fair bit to get him.
Yeah.
So that's how I look. And I look, I don't mind the look of Ollie Florin coming in too. I think this helps Ollie Hollands' game. It could release him back onto the wing position.
Could.
And then you could have
look, again, Mars, they're not Curnow, right? They're just serviceable players.
It gives us a different look.
They're serviceable players, but we need to go and get, and we need to be a football club that is ambitious to a point where we're going out and we're signing these stars, these free agents, we're giving away picks to get. But at the moment, unfortunately, we probably don't have that availability yet, right? And this is not me making excuses. This is just the reality of it. The move that we should have made was to move for a big free agent at the end of last season. So heading into 25, right? But the problem was Dan Houston, a half-back flanker, it's not the guy. Spending the money, yes, on an attacking player. And maybe Dan Houston would have been different at Carlton, right? Maybe he would have taken us to higher heights or into the 8 this season. I don't know, right? And I think Sam Docherty and a few of those senior players were justified in their frustration by us not going and getting a ready-made senior gun, but we future-proofed, and that's your insurance policy. You go and future-proof, you go and get Jagger Smith, who personally I believe would have had an immediate impact on the group. That's my take on it, right? I don't believe you're 19, you can't play well. To me, that's bullshit. To me, that's absolute bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So I think he would have had an immediate impact, and I think he will have an immediate impact on our team. And they've looked completely different with him in there. Having said that, there is a scenario where we do make a move on someone in the next 2 days. But the likely possibility is that it's going to come at the end of next season, which frustrates a lot of us because it's probably not going to mean we spike up the ladder. But again, back to what I said, the more important thing for our club at the moment is unity and morale in the dressing room.
I think there's a sense of getting that back as well, as you've seen with Graham Wright and the way that he's been talking as well. I know we put a lot into Graham Wright, but the appointment of Davies too, I think it's a very good appointment.
Critical.
Yeah, he's proven. He's got a proven track record at the helm.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, go.
Actions will always. Actions are always going to be what you will be remembered with, right?
Yeah.
But Chris Davies impressed me more in 15 minutes over the phone on trade radio than his predecessor did in 7 years of being at the club, because the man sounds like he actually stands for something. And I understand that they're words, right? But don't ever forget, and this is a truism of the whole world, there is nothing more powerful than articulate speech. Nothing more powerful than articulate speech and having a conviction and belief in what you're saying and what you're doing. There's nothing more powerful than it. And our problem for a long time is our club's communication and the way in which we talk about football, the way in which we talk about standards, the way in which we communicate our message from coaches to players, from head of football to coaches and down the line has been nothing short of amateur. They don't speak the language. They don't speak a football language. They don't speak a professional language. They don't speak with intelligence. They don't speak with articulation. How many intelligent people that have fronted up the camera for the Carlton Football Club in the last 15 years can you name? I'm talking intelligent people who have taught you about football, who have added a competitive edge to the team, who have come up with something different.
Player-wise and coaching-wise?
I can't think of any.
Maybe Ratton when he was there, maybe, but he was still young in his tenure.
There is a lack of intelligence and initiative and intuition within that club that has been detrimental to us for a long, long time. Long time. And my concern throughout this year, right, and this is away from trades, right? This is away from players. When you're not harmonious, when you're not unified, you're not going to go anywhere. You can't do anything. You have to have a harmonious dressing. Why do you think I harped on about it at the start of the year, mate? Why do you think I harped on about it at the start of the year? Because without it, you've got nothing. And that was my big question mark on the coach. Can you handle it? Can you create a harmonious environment? And can you defend well? If me, Mars, I don't get paid 6 figures to figure it out, right? I watch the replay, volume up, volume down, 25,000 times. If I could tell you in the first month and the first 6 to 8 weeks that we were defending horribly and inefficiently, yet the people and analysts and coaches at the club were buying this champion data and statistically driven narrative to back up their own ill-advised assumptions, what does that say of the intelligence factor and the intelligence levels of the people making these decisions?
Oh, they're incompetent.
How could I see it? I'm not paid to get it right.
Well, it's the way you conduct the numbers with the output on the field and the way it looks. Yeah, like how you putting it forward. Like I'm listening to Lee Montagna, as I said at the start of the year, and I was just bewildered by. We've got the same numbers as Brisbane. I know he doesn't watch Carlton. We watch Carlton more than anybody else. And not saying like we just do, but I'm saying as Carlton supporters, we know more than Lee Montagna does about Carlton, right?
Yeah,
and then when you go,
I think he's an okay analyst. I don't think he's.
Yeah, no, I'm not having a dig at him, but I just think he got it completely wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and he did. There was in no way known that just because the numbers matched up with Brisbane in 2024 compared to Carlton of 2025, there is no way known that that was an identical way of playing and that was going to move us forward. Like just because data and numbers match doesn't mean that it's identical. You've got to provide context to these numbers, which is what, in my estimation, the club failed to do. Again, and I know I keep saying it, we defend with too many numbers. Anyway, that's by the by, right?
Yeah.
The problem for me at the moment is 2026 looks like it may not be a year where we spike up the ladder because we are losing, in inverted commas, high output players, and we're not getting in the stars and the guns that we are acquiring from the picks that we will acquire from Charlie Curnow from Sydney because of the scenario and the trade landscape at the moment. Now, that could all change in 2 days. And Michael Voss would be saying, wait, we need to get someone in because my job's on the line. But that is not the priority at the moment. Priority at the moment is a harmonious and united team in dressing room. And enough with these bloody slogans. I'm sick of them. I don't want slogans, none of them. Slogans mean you're a fraud. Slogans mean you're a fraud.
You just hide behind the slogan.
Slogans mean you're a fraud. They are a fraud.
Well, I think the players coming in, if so, Ollie Florent, Will Haywood, obviously Ainsworth ready, Karmas if he comes into, and Chesser. I don't know. It just, I think it's a real kick up the arse for the whole playing group that to now know, and the older guys too, is to say, hey, you're not going to be around here forever. What you said 2-3 years ago is not going to come to fruition, or it might. Like they had their pact, as we've heard, that we're going to be in this together, but things change. Things change quite quickly. Dynamics change.
Oh, yeah.
And now the dynamics of the team has changed. And you can see what the age demographic that they're trying to go for now is that, I don't know if they're trying to fast track it, but they're trying to find players within that, I don't know, 24 to 27-year-old range.
Which we're lacking.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
It's too much in between. So, and good and consistent footballers at that age too. So we've brought in some experience too. Ainsworth, who's got 150 odd games. Haywood, who will come in, I'm guessing 150 odd. Florent, same. Ready, untried. Oh, he's 3 games at the level, but we know he's performed well in the waffle.
He's a body.
And Chesser, well, Look, he should be ultimately trying to push out maybe Akers or someone from that midfield to that wing role. So he should be aiming to do that. That's the natural progression, I think, out on that wing. I think we can rotate. We can be more flexible on the wings too. We don't have to be so regimented. Maybe with one wing, but look, you always ultimately want your wingers pretty much regimented. But look, Karmas, I mean, if they get him in, I think he's a good pickup as well. They're not needle movers, as we all know. We're not deluded into thinking that. Like people are going, "Oh, what do you like? How can you rate the trade period?" Like, wow, like, mate, we need players like this. The only thing that we're lacking, I think, is a lot of premiership experience on the field. Some people think we don't need it, think it's all a myth. I think we need one or two. I'm not saying we need 4 or 5. We need 1 or 2.
We've been big on this, obviously. And look, if we're not going to bring in those replacements for Charlie this season, to me, it's probably going to be a year where I mean, really, we're probably going to be outside the 8. That's just the reality. But, what we predict and what we think may come to fruition, I mean, very hard to predict what's going to happen. But naturally, we're going to lose that output. But like I said, I think there are certain upgrades with the players we're bringing in. Then again, they're not going to get people up off their seats, but like we went through, they're upgrades to a certain point. Karmas is probably a replacement for Jack to a certain point because we need to probably fill that role. I don't think we really need to be quite frank. But if the club deems that they want to go down the path, they've also got McGovern in the waiting, like we mentioned off the top. So there are opportunities there, mate. Now it's just what you make of it. It is what you make of it. And we may, in the short term, lose the trade. But personally, I don't think we are.
Yeah, you'll see. It'll be a long-term game again.
This is,
like what it is, though.
Like, what I mean, are we also missing out on the idea that is this the scenario that Charlie Curnow finds himself in? Are we missing out that it's a reflection on how poor the club is and how poor the club manages the stars? Yeah. But again, there's going to be new people there now. There are new people running and creating different standards, right? Davies, can someone confirm? Someone confirm for me? And I was told this, and I don't know. And this is where we're going to get the audience involved because they always do a good job. I'm led to believe that has Carlton ridded of its club psychologist. I think she may have been moved on. Can someone try to confirm that with me? I'll do some digging overnight if nobody knows. But I'm led to believe that the club psychologist has been. She won't be there for next season. She's gone.
Yes, Carlton Football Club has confirmed the departure of its club psychologist as a part of a wider football department revamp following the conclusion of the 2025 season. So Tara Kavanagh, she's departed now. So new role has been appointed head of psychology for North Melbourne Football Club, commencing her role at the start of October. So yeah, correct.
So she has.
So we see. So the head of GM obviously goes Brad Lloyd. Greaves is gone. The COD player. He's going to play Call of Duty or Battlefield tonight. Assistant coach Aaron Hamill. He's probably off to with his mate Sauce and Lonigan and a fair few. I think we've tried to, as I said to you before, I think we've tried to. I'm looking for the word now. Give me the word, Paul. Downsize our football department.
Yes, streamline it.
Too many people in too many roles. It's just
waste. Right. There's inefficiency off the field leads to inefficiency on the field. There are just people there that were wasting. There were people there that we were wasting money on and wasting our time on, right? And it needed to become a little more like that, more autocratic, right? More hierarchical. Sam Cingarella raises an interesting.
I was going to bring this up. Charles Boys. What are your thoughts on the role Jagger should be playing next year? I'm keen, but I think we really need to be very diligent, predominantly off half-back and half-forward to manage his body correctly.
100%. Let him get that straight ball. Let him get that fullback kick in, handball 20 metres, bang, and then he follows up the play again. Gets rid of that tag, gets him away from those contests. No, it's not protecting him. Again, we're not there to protect them. We're there to make these plays stronger and better, right? But he is one that we need to make sure that we don't rush him in. We don't want him to be a lambs to the slaughter.
Well, you don't want it like you don't want to become another. No, I wouldn't say Sam Walsh, but you don't want to hurt him early.
No, exactly.
You do,
exactly.
you know what? You know people say you don't want to, but you do want to protect players like that because they're
Correct.
ultimately going to be your best footballers in the future and the near distant future to come. He could be our best player next year. Who knows? With all the raps on him, apparently he's Nick Dacos 2.0. But I'm just saying that you want to protect these players. So I think you'll see a lot of halfback and those half forwards. So yeah.
Yeah, there was. So she's definitely gone, is she?
Yeah, gone. Yep.
Okay.
She went to North Melbourne.
Where was that? Oh, yeah, and Tara Kavanagh has. Okay, right. That's
interesting.
I did pick that well before the season started, just quietly. When she did that interview with On Time Delivery, I got very scared with what she was.
Oh yeah, when she was saying, yeah.
I got very, very worried. Very worried. Very, very worried. AD's in the chat. Oh, man.
Charlie AD, Sydney won't win anything with Charlie. Their defense can't stand up. Do they have a defense? Rampy's 85. McCartan, well, who knows? If people say Harry Mackay's a concussion away from retiring, mate, this bloke's, mate, he's a knock off his finger. I mean, you don't want it to happen, but do you subscribe to this Harry stuff with the concussion? Do you subscribe to it?
What, him having issues with concussion?
No, but I'm saying one knock away and it's all over for him. Like, do you subscribe
to Mackay?
Yeah. A lot of people have been saying this. I don't subscribe to it. I don't know. I don't subscribe.
It's just been the victim of circumstance. It's been a little.
Maybe I'm deluded. Maybe I don't want to believe it. Maybe I've got the rose-colored glasses on, but I don't subscribe to it. Maybe people call me deluded, please. But
it's a contact sport. You run a risk. There's always going to be a risk.
Here we go. Hide. Mars. Have you seen him fly head first at the ball?
Who is he? Gabrielle from a corner.
Fucking Superman here.
Gabrielle from a corner.
Jimmy, how are you? If he was, they would have called it. Nah, no. Like, I'm looking forward to it. If we can get all these players in, Karmas, Hayward, and Florent. Look, I've already accepted where we are next year, and if they can exceed my expectations, well, then good on them. It means they're playing good football.
We know there will always be expectation and pressure on our
club.
Right?
This is what I said, is that when those players come in, and I've commented it as well, is that there is expectations. As soon as you walk in that door, we expect the world of you.
And naturally, right? But there will be no expectation on us from, I would say, the majority of the AFL fraternity next season. Yeah. I can bet your bottom dollar no expert will have us anywhere near the 8. We probably won't have us anywhere near the 8. And that may very well lead to us actually playing some decent footy.
I agree.
I don't know. Who knows? We all had us potentially top 4 this year. We finished closer to the bottom 4 than the top 4.
Not me, cuz.
Good luck.
Not me. No way.
Tell you what, it'd be bloody nice. Oh God, it'd be nice just to not have a fucking casualty ward every time we fucking have a season. Season. Blood, mate. It's like the beach at Saving Private Ryan.
He's gonna hold his arm.
The bloke's carrying his right arm with his left hand. It is every year.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, but that's also on the players as well. I know some of them were unlucky, they did contact injuries, but some of them are on the players as well.
That's true.
The way you prepare. So, Deha, we got Brody Kemp to come back. Relax, fellas, we'll be right. No, he'll do the other. Hopefully he's okay. I wonder when he comes back.
I know he's saying that with a smile.
He's taking the piss. He's taking the P1. Zach R. It says a lot. Nick Dud Austin, okay, going for Jagger Smith. Then a ready-made player shows you they're not 100% confident in the list and where it stands.
No, it just shows you that there was no opportunity and they were not willing to part ways with what Collingwood offered Dan Houston. They are proven right. They were proven right in that decision. You don't give up what Collingwood gave up. But how did Dan Houston go this year? How did he go?
4 out of 10.
I reckon he went as well as Jagger Smith did.
he had as many kicks as him. I'll tell you that.
The one that I kept being told when I was being lambasted halfway through the year, and when I got lambasted at the start of the year for saying why, like Collingwood are going to do what they've done this year with him, with or without him, right? Oh, but he's playing a different role, and you've got to wait for him to embed into the team, and you give it time. Oh,
good players don't need time.
You've given up $900K in the first round and a future first round for him.
Good players don't need. If you're a gun player, you don't need time.
I ain't got time to bleed, like Jesse Ventura said on Predator, mate. We haven't got time to bleed, mate.
Wait up.
We will be justified in picking up Jagger Smith. I'm convinced.
I agree. Who's better than one? Apparently, two of us are better than one.
Oh God, heaven forbid if the third one comes in.
Oh, jeez, Sam Singarella heard Binns could get paid out of his contract to be delisted. Do we know if there's any truth to this? Personally, I think that's a bit stiff. That's stiff. But I'll back
and we all know he's obviously been told to look elsewhere. And I think that may very well be true, although I have no information on it. If Chesser has been told that he's going to play the wing,
it says a lot. So
Binns won't be there. He won't be a Carlton player either at the end of this trade period or the end of next season.
Aiden, hey Paul, about a million times in the chat. Just say hi back to him. He gets really restless.
He gets
it always takes a year. Always takes a year to adapt.
Oh, when you spend $900K and you give away picks, they got him for this year, for now. And now.
We dropped the ball by missing Sid Draper, did we? Did you see him play much this year? I mean, you don't know.
I would have liked Sid Draper, but
yeah, I know. But we got Jagger Smith, and now I know he did his ACL, but he hasn't kicked. As Rocco says, he hasn't kicked the ball in anger yet. So how do you know?
Ralph Venetia, Houston will prove his worth next year. Well, he's going to have to. Jesus, he's going to have to make up a fair bit of what he did this year, just quietly. My golly.
Akers is contracted until 2027, so he's there. Yes. But I would love to see a natural progression of Chesser taking his spot. So only Carlton. Go through a few more, then we'll wrap it up. Open up the chat. I have a lot of things to get on my chest about Charlie. What have you said, you idiot?
Only Carlton. Let.
There's going to be someone special on that this weekend as well. Look out.
Don't get bitter, get better. Don't get bitter.
Imagine
we
got Houston, Paul. Imagine. Imagine how bad that deal would have been.
Imagine if we were in this scenario and we had him locked into $900K a year.
For the next 5. Meat Wagon. Do you lads believe will offer Walsh a TDK salary?
No. But he will stay.
Yeah. This Kadia Nazli. Hey again, how are you? This year is the first time I trust Carlton Football Club with trades and improving. That's good.
Fair enough
to see that.
Well, we've got some very competent people there at the moment.
And, a lot of people have been saying that, like Nick Austin he hasn't been that great for us, but I think he's been great for us. If you compare him to the predecessor, to the other side.
Yeah. Name why he's not been good for us. Just tell me why.
There's 3 names that always pop up. Zach Williams, all right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Zach Williams.
That deal was done before he got there.
But anyway, it's under his watch, so we'll just give it to him. Let's just give it to him, right? Let's let him have a win, right?
All right. Okay.
Adam Sard, I think he's been good. 6 out of 10. Silvani, okay, but it was under there. But all right, the other ones they got is Lewis Young, but we got him for nothing.
Yep.
Got him for nothing, right? And then they go, who else have they got? I can't even think off the top of my head anymore.
Hollands, Tick.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. The recruits are Chera. The Chera's finished top 3 in our BNF. And look, I think he's been a 6.
I would have finished top 3 in our BNF this year.
Me too. But what I'm saying is that he hasn't been a 2 out of 10. He's been a 5, 6 out of 10 since he's been here.
I'll tell you what, I think he's been better than Stephen Silvani with the cards he's been dealt with.
And if you look at the draft as well, they're pretty much all playing.
He's done better with those late picks than what Stephen Silvani did. Put it that way.
And they're hard to turn. At Carlton, they're hard to turn. Jera, Haynes, Hewitt. Yeah, Haynes been a great pickup. Hewitt
for what we gave up has exceeded his.
Come on, man. If you think Nick Austin is a fraud, you got Arjador. Frankie Evans, great pickup. Well, that proved the swerve towards the end of the year. Far out. Oh, Flynn, I'll give him Flynn Young. I'll give you Flynn Young, even though I've got a booster box worth more than his contract just for his brother. Kadir again. Austin got a lot of B graders, right? But it's time to get the A graders now. I agree. I think I don't know if we're going to get him this year. I hope that we get Burri or Zach Butters or Humphrey, one or the other. One or the other makes it the trade period. I mean, you never want to see your stars go, right? I'm saying trade period, not free agency period. You never want to see your superstars leave your team and get nothing in return, right? We're going to get Florent and Haywood, yeah, but it's the first round of this year and next year, which is going to come down the line. You got to put your focus that way. Take the blinkers off, and you just got to look down the track now.
Yeah, and
I know everyone wants a premiership now. Trust me, I want a premiership now. I got no fucking hair. I've said it a million times because we're 30 years into this. We're 31 years, and we're legit with our conscious eyes. 25 years we've seen nothing. We all want it, but you got to be realistic, right? People are going to say, you got to be realistic with Butters and Humphrey, but I think we can make a major move on the Wednesday. That's when you're going to make the move. Whether it happens or not.
Like I said, we will eventually get the value, that trade value from the picks that we get for Charlie will eventually be turned over. May not be this year. It'll be next year.
This one, Zaka, before we end, Mars, talk about Nick Austin's biggest stuff up, missing Paul Curtis. I mean, how many people have a lot of
people missed out on Paul Curtis. A lot of people missed out on a lot of draft picks, and that's just the way it goes. But
it's what you do with yours. So, look, if they're not playing, then so be it. Look, if you have any
recruitment and the process you undertake and the principles and the vision and alignment that you have when you're drafting these type of players is the most important thing. You know, it's one of the most important things you have at a football club. So he's going to have his work cut out for him now, Nick and Graham Ryan.
Before we end, Bomber fanatic Pete Butters said on media he's playing at Port next year. So did Charlie 6 times. And so did Charlie.
Likely will.
So did Charlie 6 times before he legged it and become a big sook. Fucking sook. Yeah, we need a Judd in that midfield. We don't have one player that breaks those lines like Judd did. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I think we should go hard for Butters, but you don't want to put them all in there. But it is what it is.
Now that we've lost Curnow and the midfield is what it is from a profile perspective, we need to upgrade that midfield and we need to make sure that, you know, we're getting the true value with regards to acquisitions when it comes to the Charlie trade, and not you can't replace him, right? But you know, you can replace him on the list with someone very, very good, which we eventually will do. But how we do that and when we do that, it may be in the next couple of days, it may be at this point in time next year. And again, I know people probably don't want to hear that aspect of it, but
it's just being realistic.
You do not spend for the sake of it.
Yep. And before we leave, Zaka, how can Pommy be on Paul Curtis but not Nick Austin? He probably wasn't. Do we need him at the time? I don't know. I don't know what they were looking for. So only you can ask Nick Austin that question. Maybe go down to the club, ask him, and then he'll give you his synopsis as to why he didn't pick Paul Curtis. And there you go. So
how old is Paul Curtis? He's 22 years old. What draft did he go in? 2021 national draft. That was a hot draft. That was a very hot draft.
Whew. Did we get out of that? Was that not Holland?
No,
he picked up Motlop before Curtis. Sorry.
That was a very hot
all right.
draft.
You weren't saying that in 2023 when he kicked those goals in the final, were you?
Well, that's exactly right.
And in that year when he kicked 30. So, I mean, how times can change and the way that the system plays around you and how you're played in the team. I mean, you're not talking like that. So
we gave up a pick in that draft for Adam Chera. So
there you go. Because we need to be.
I wanted Racheli in that draft, but we didn't quite.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that to me. Yeah, he's going to be a very, very good player.
And this is why I'm saying, and this is why I like to go back on what Hyde or Zach R might have been saying. You'd add Did Adelaide make the right decision? Should we have had the pick for a Rochelle type in that draft? You're future-proof in that moment. Rochelle in that particular season that we picked up Chera might not have been as good as Chera. But tell me now, even in that year and a year or two later, who would you rather?
Sometimes you always got to back the. Sometimes you got to back the draft more than you do a recruit.
So this is what I'll also say: you got to utilize free agency. Absolutely, that's what the best clubs do. But I truly believe this is going to be a point in time where we look back at the end of last season, where we went and got Jagger Smith, rather than giving up the picks for Dan Houston, where we look back and say, you know what, future-proofing was actually the right thing to do.
I agree, and we'll leave you on that bomber. Well, actually, I didn't upload it, but I'll message you it later. I found this thing. It's like a little jar, and it's got chilies in it, right? And it's just called Bomba. I'll put it on the story. It's just called Bomba. I lost my mind. You know where we're at? You know FOY. You know in Coburg.
Boys.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, well, I was there, and it's at the back there next to the deli section, and it just said Bomba. I'm like, una bomba.
I'll go buy one.
Yes, Paul Curtis is a good footballer. I think he's top 5 small forwards in the comp, to be honest.
He's one of my favourite players.
Yeah, he's very good footballer.
I think he's sensational.
Yeah, so look, you're going to get him wrong, you're going to get him right. You got to get more right than you do wrong, and that's what leads you to the ultimate, the glory. It'll get you there. So,
correct.
Look, you got to start somewhere. Graham Wright started off hot. Nick Austin doing some good work. You never want to see your superstars leave your team, and not the way that they are going. If you take that's cap 2, by the way, they're just going to take what is $1 million pay cut. That's a load of crap. That's a load of crap.
No worries.
But look, if you haven't dropped a like, make sure you hit a like. If you're watching later past the live and you want to get in on the action for the last 2 days, make sure you drop a comment below. Drop me a question. I don't know. Put something forward to me. Put forward one of your trades for Curnow, what you would like to see. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll stick there. We'll stick by him again. Make sure you check out Bada Bing, Rocco's history lessons. He's got his one on Scientology today. We know what he thinks about that. It's all a raw anyway. Tomorrow night, Unfiltered, 9 p.m. with Andy. They got a very good guest tomorrow night. I have heard that it's interesting guests lined up tomorrow night. Last week was a hot one, to be honest. Crystal Lady from the Empress. Yeah.
Explicit
and
Empress, yeah.
Explicit Empress, correct. And then we've got Glory Hunters. I'm thinking a Thursday or a Friday. So,
Very
yeah.
good.
Make sure you check it all out. Brown Paper Trades, day 8 done and dusted with Paulo from SEN, one of TJP's very own. It will be here tomorrow for day 9 and Wednesday for day 10, and we might do a live. I might even contact one person, and we might do a live together. So who knows? But anyway, we'll love you, and we'll leave you. I'm going to watch Raw now, so I can't wait. And take it easy.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Paul. Enjoy. Everyone enjoy. Thank you.
Good to see you, chat. Good to chat and good to be with you. Good night. Go Blues.
Go Blues.